Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Shuklam Baradharam Vishnum Shasivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vighna Upashantaye Hladanarada Parasara Pundarika Vyasambariša Sukhasaunaka Hrunivasa Bhaktanurakta Paripalana Parijata Lakshmin Nrsimhamadehi Karavalambam Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmanahitaya Cha Jagadhitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha Om Bhadram Karnebhih Shrunuyama Devaha Bhadram Pasye Makshabhiryajatra Sthirairangaihi Tushtuvagum Sastanubhihi Vyasema Devahitam Yadayuhu Swasti na Indro Vruddhasravaha Swasti naha Pusha Vishwavedaha Swasti naha Tarkshyo Arishtanemihi Swasti no Bruhaspatir Om Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Agne Naya Supatha Raje Asman Vishwani Deva Vajunani Vidwan Yuyodhyasmajjuhurana Meno Bhuishtham Te Namavuktim Didhema. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Abrahman Brahmano Brahmavachasi Jayatamārāshtre Rajanyah Shuraishavyo Divyadhi Maharadho Jayatam Dugdhri Dhenuhu Odhanadvana Sussaptihi Purandhiryosha Jishnuradheshta Sabheyo Yuva Asya Yajamanasya Viro Jayatam Nikame Nikame Naha Parjanyo Varshatu Phalavatyo Na Oshadhayaha Pachyantam Yogakshemo Naha Kalpetam. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Apyayantu Mamangani Vakpranaschakshushrotramatho Balamindriyani Cha Sarvani Sarvam Brahma Upanishadam Aham Brahma Nirakuryam Mama Brahma Nirakarotu Anirakaranamastu Anirakaranam Me Astu Tadatmani Nirateya Upanishadsu Dharma Te Mayi Santu Te Mayi Santu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. So today is a very auspicious day when we are having the Vaisakha Masam Suddha Purnima of this Parabhavan year. And Purnima is a day for Mahavishnu, Purnima is a day for Mahadevi. And whenever we praise them, we are very happy because they live along with us. We live along with them. But our living is temporary, their living is permanent because they're all Shashvatas. And so, when the opportunity has been given to us in this Bhuloka with Manava Janma and that too with some samskara, it is the mandatory for all people to remember them. So, Kalau Namasmaranena Muchyate Papat and Namasmaranena Moksha Prapti Bhavati. Because the Namasmarana is helping to reduce the karmas with which we are all born. And so when we make Veda Parayanam, Vedadhyanam, and Veda Karmas or Veda Kriyas, Dharma Kriyas, that is adding to our punya and trying to reduce the karmas with which we are there. That's why we always talk about the Mama Upatta Samasta Durita Kshaya. So Durita Kshaya, Durita is the bad conduct. Due to our own behavior, we have acquired Durita. So our durita that has been acquired, going to be acquired, all that has got to be reduced or silenced, and so that we will be able to reap only good results, happiness, health, and all that. So Yajurveda is a special Veda where you have so many practical measures, namely sacrifices, through which we are able to have a better lokas, and ultimately sayujyam apnoti. Ultimately, we merge into the portals of Brahmadeva or Ishvara, whom we call, and we don't have any janma. So that's what we have been introduced to the concept, and we are all being given caution that the world that we are living is not permanent, but there is another world waiting for us from which we have been projected, and that's exactly what is the plea of the Aithareya Maharshi in his Aithareya Upanishad and also in the Rigveda, that we have got to get rid of this. So now we are in the, after talking about the worship or sacrifice of the Darsha Purnamasa, namely Darsha is Amavasya or Krishna Paksha, and Purna is the Shukla Paksha ending. So these two, that is monthly, and how all full month is covered with the Darsha and Purna, and therefore we are just talking about it. Afterwards, we are introduced to the idea of Agnihotra, because Agni is very important. Because Agni Amrutam. And because of Agni, we are all coming into the world, and we are living in the world, and we exit in the world from the world. And he is the only one person who can give us some kind of elevation. So Agni and Soma. Soma is also having the Chandra or Ishvara with Parvati, Uma Maheshwara, and also we have got the tree, a divine plant is called, and it's a creeper, Somavalli, and the rasam taken out of the leaves of the Soma will be very powerful, will be exhilarating, will give a lot of energy, and every god likes that Soma rasam. Therefore, they are all called Somapaha. Anybody who offers Soma, and that kind of work is called as Soma Yaga. So when you say Soma Yaga, uh, where you have so many processes, I mean procedures, and rishis are very much familiar with the procedure to tell us. And but in Kali Yuga, there are people, there are associations who are trying to perform the Vedic sacrifices and make the Vedic sacrifices a live point. That's exactly what pleases Paramatma, because as we note down from Vishnu Sahasranamam, he is Yajna Krut, Yajna Bhuku, Yajnanga Vahana, and also Yajna Phalaswarupa and Yajna himself. So Vishnu Yajna. So when we get that kind of yajna being performed, naturally we get benefits. So because anybody who does some yajna or puja or bhakti showing or devotion towards the Paramatma, he will never perish. That's what Krishna said in Gita, Name bhaktaha pranasyanti. And you know the point, what he says is, Na kalyana kruttata durgatim na gacchati. Anybody who does kalyanam, kalyanam has got many folds, and one of the kalyanams is to have this kind of dharma kriyas. And so last Sunday we have had a beautiful program on Vishnu Sahasranamam, and trying to discuss important aspects of Vishnu Sahasranamam. And so, whatever be the activity directed towards pleasing the God itself is called tapas. And we in Taittiriya Upanishad, it has been marked for us that tapo nityaha paurusishtihi. Tapa eva tapa. So whatever it is there, swadhyaya, pravachana, and matru seva, pitru seva, etc. All these things ultimately merge into the concept tapas. So, and moreover, it is said to us that tapasa brahma vijnasasva. So, if you want to have a knowledge about the Brahma and reach up to the areas of Brahma and merge into Brahma, you have to have this sacrifice. Therefore, we are at the last Anuvaka of the Taittiriya Samhita, Prathama Kanda, fourth Prapataka, and 45th Anuvaka, and that concludes this particular aspect of preparatory to the Soma Yaga, and we have already pointed out the details, what are the procedures. So the Soma Yaga begins from the prayer, cleansing the Yajnashala, or rather the Bhumi, then fixing up the Vedi and preparing all the necessary things and purchasing carts load of Somavalli. And and then we have to prepare. And meanwhile, before Soma is being bought with exchanging cows, then there is to be a yupa to be prepared. So Vriksha, to not to get a branch of the tree, to have that yupa status, we make a prayer to the tree and we bring and do all the necessary samskriti and samskara for this and fix it up. And so we have gone through all that. And every action in a yajna is being done from a religious point of view. So religion is important. Now I am reading the last passage, and somebody will come who is there can recite also afterwards, because we have the blessing of this Om Suta Uktasya Ukte Soma Indram Mamada Nithe Makavanam Sutasaha Yadivum Sabadhaha Pitaram Na Putraha Samanadaksha Avase Havante Agne Rasena Tejasa Jatavedo Virochase Rakshohamiva Amiva Chatanaha Apo Anvacharishagum Rasena Samasrushmahi Payaswagum Agna Agamam Tam Masagum Sruja Varchasa Vasupatihi Vasupatirhakamasmay Asya Agne Vibhavasuho Syama Te Sumatavapi Tvamagne Vasupatim Vasunam Abhipramande. So this is the Anuvaka. Preamble to the conclusion of the situation. So now let us note down. Anyway, let me read that last Anuvaka also. And hello. ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಆಗಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಎಲ್ಲಿದ್ದೀರಾ? So, Sutasaha edigum sabadhaha pitaram na putraha samanadaksha avasehavante Agnerasena tejasa jata vedo virochase rakshohami vach ami vachatanaha apo anvacharisha rasena samasruchmahi payasvagum agna agamam tam ma sagum samsrujavachasa vasuhu vasupatihi वसुपतिर्हिकमस्य अग्ने विभावसुः श्यामते सुमतावपि स्वाम् अग्ने वसुपतिं वसूनाम् अभिप्रमन्दे. This is a very, I have read it, but again I'm reading so that we'll understand what is this Anuvaka, Puronuvakas and Yajas and all that comes under the conclusion point. So here again the Agni is deemed to be Vasupati. Last line which I read will tell you Tvam Agne Vasupatim. O Agni, you are the Lord of the house. Vasupati, in other words, is called as the Gruhapati. So Vasupati and Gruhapati. And what is that? Vasupatihi. Vasupatihi hikam asya agne vibhavasuhu syama. And not only he is a Vasupati, he is also Vibhavasu. Vibhavasu, actually Vibha is Viseshena Bha, highly brilliant, highly Tejovan. And so such Agni is unparalleled in the powers and all that. Therefore, Vibhavasu actually also means the Surya Bhagavan, and because they're all having that Vibha, or the what is the wealth of the god of Surya and Agni? The wealth of Surya and Agni is the Tejas, brilliance, Varchas, Brajas, and all these things, because they're all luminaries. The moment Agni is on, you will see the moment Agni is on, you will see that you get energy, you get light, you get brilliance. The objects become visible. The darkness is dispelled. That's why Kalidasa will tell us that during the daytime, Surya Bhagavan is Savita. And Hutasana, that is Agni, is the night. So night-time Agni is Surya, in the daytime Surya is Agni. So this way we observe both of them cause one full night, 24 hours. So that's why Ilinu Tva Pramande. So we'll just Pramande, Pravande, all these things we are going to respect you, revere you. Now let us see the expression. Yadigum sabadhaha pitara na putraha samanadaksha avase havante sutasaha pitaram na putraha. So there is a comparison or upma. So na is a yuva or example like putra putaram putraha samanadakshaha avase havante sabadhaha sutasaha. Se putraha, normally all the children will pay attention towards their fathers, pitaram, and moreover they are all saman. Who are the putras? They are samanadakshaha putraha. They are having daksha is ability, capability, and they are all called samanadakshaha. Then avase havante. Avase is food, prosperity, growth, and all for that sake they are going to worship the ಪಿತೃರೂಪವಾಗಿರುವ ಆ ಅಗ್ನಿದೇವನನ್ನು. ಅದನ್ನು ಸಿ ದಿಸ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ fatherliness or protectiveness or protectiveness is attributed to Agni because he is the protector. And again, some more quality of Agni is Agne Rasena Tejasa Jata Vedo Virochase. So this is a prayer to Agni. Aya Agni, you are Virochase. You are shining forth highly brilliant. Nobody can compete with that of the brilliance of Agni. So he is said to be very, very bright. How bright he is, with what he is going to be very much bright? Because Rasena Tejasa. And who is this Agni? Agni is a Jata Veda. That is, he is concerned with the health, prosperity, and everything of all people. And without his knowledge, as I have been telling, as our Yaskacharya and Nighantus tell, they define etymology as Jatam Jatam Yaha Veda Sa Jata Vedaha. That means he is in conscience of protecting each and everybody in the lokas. So without Agni, nothing. That's why Agni Amrutam. People also say that. So Agni is a friend. Agni is a Varchasvan, is Brajovan. Therefore, here is a Virochase. Vi is Viseshena. Rocha is Ruchi, Kanti. So Virochase. And moreover, Rasena, Tejasacha. These are the two things which are containing in Agni, that is Rasa and Tejas. And what is this Agni doing? He has got the power to destroy, to remove all those Raksha. Rakshoha means Rakshasa Samhara. And then those people who are adharmic, who are Rakshasas, they are being attended to. See that they are suffered, punished by Agni. And Amiva Chatanaha. Any infection, Amiva is the rogam, is a disease, is infection, is a health problem or any other problem. So it's Amiva. Adanna Checha Amiva Chatanaha andre, he will drive away all sorts of infections, all sorts of illness, and all sorts of difficulties and calamities. And ultimately, Agni is pure, Agni is Suchi. So after making the prayer to Agni and complimenting Agni, that is being attended to by all people, like sons attending their parents, the fathers, whether living or departed. Now there is a prayer to Apo Devatas and your action towards the Apo Devatas. ನೀನೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀಯ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ? ಅದೇನಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅಪೋ ಅನ್ವ ಅಪೋ ಅನ್ವ ಚಾರಿಷಗುಂ ರಸೇನ ಸಮಸೃಕ್ಷ್ಮಹಿ. ಸೊ ರಸೇನ ವಿರೋಚಸೆ. Now the water is rasena samasruchmahi, and the water has got to, we follow up. We make prayer to the Apo Devatas, and they have to make us sapful and prosperous for us. Because Anvacharisham means we are trying to follow up. So that way, Apo Devatas also get pleased. And then Payaswan Agna Agamam. So he is a pious one. Agni, I mean water, is Payaha has two meanings. One is water and another is the halu, which will give you energy, prosperity, and all good luck. Therefore, you observe that Rakshoha is Agni, Apaha in Marte Payaswagum, Agna, Agamam, Tam, Ma, Varchasa, Sagum, Sruja. So, Yagna Phala Yenapa Andre, when we are doing this kind of sacrifice, what are the benefits? Because any action is not free from benefit. That's what every action has got reaction or response. ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ನ್ಯೂಟನ್ಸ್ ಲಾಸ್ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಫಿಸಿಕ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಓದ್ತೀವಿ. ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ನ್ಯೂಟನ್, ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್ ಥಿಂಗ್. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ರಿಬಫಿಂಗ್ is there, reoccurring is there. So that's why here we say that apaha agni is a payaswan, also is a moisture ridden. So moisture ridden, and please come down to the sacrifice, Agamam, and now what should you do? What he should do to us? ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ವಚ್ಚಸ ಸಗುಂ ಸಜ ಸಂಸೃಜ ಮಾಂ ತಂ. See, Tam is Yajamana, I think so, and Ma is myself. So the priest, the Yajamana, and his retinue, all of them must become healthy and happy and prosperous and glowful by virtue of the grace of the Agnideva, by virtue of the grace of the water, the Apo Devatas. And now again, because Agni is ruling all over the places, that's exactly what you observe. And Agnir Brahma, Agnir Jyotihi, Agnihi Suryaha. So these are all the compliments given for the Agni Deva, and therefore you cannot neglect him. Now we have come to the venue, the sacrifice hall, sacrificial hall, where you are doing Vasuhu. And the Gruhapati, Vasupati is the Gruhapati. And in Agnihotra, we have got a mantra, primary, Sugruhapatihi bhuyasam Sugruhapatina. Gruhapatina Sugruhapatir bhuyasam anta prarthane. The Lord of the house is Agni. The Lord of prosperity is Agni. Owing to his grace, we want to be Sugruhapati. We want to be successful householders. Grahapati means householder. A gruhastha. Gruhe sthiram tishtati. Saha gruhastha. A married man. Your stability in the house begins when you marry. Naturally, as a brahmachari, you can stay anywhere as single, and you can share a room accommodation with others, or you can share their accommodation. But when once the person gets married, then he has to make a separate house. So here there is a convention that those people who are alone, they can live in a single with wife in a single bedroom house, flat or house. When they get a child, they should have 2 rooms flat. ಸೊ ಆ ತರಹ ಒಂದು ಕನ್ವೆನ್ಷನ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಸಪ್ರೇಟ್ಲಿ ಫಾರ್ ಗೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆರ್ ದಿ ಚೈಲ್ಡ್ ಆರ್ ಎನಿಬಡಿ. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಈ ವಸುಪತಿ ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಬ್ಬನು ಆಶೀರ್ವಾದ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ಅಗ್ನಿ, ದೇರ್ ಫೋರ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಲ್ ಸೆಡ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಡನ್, ಅಗ್ನಿ ಈಸ್ ಡೀಮ್ ಟು ಬಿ ದಿ ಲಾರ್ಡ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಹೌಸ್. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್? ವಸೂನಾಂ ವಸೂನಾಂ ಅಭಿಪ್ರಮಂದೇ. ಸೊ ಏನೇನು ಬೇಕು ವಸ್ತುಗಳು, ವಸೂನಾಂ ಅಂದರೆ ವಸ್ತುಗಳು. ಒಂದು ಮನೆ ಇದ್ದರೆ, ಒಂದು ಜೀವನ ಇದ್ದರೆ, ವಿ ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಡೂ ಅವೇ ವಿತ್ ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್. ವಿ ವಾಂಟ್ ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಆ ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಕಷ್ಟ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಆ ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ದಾರಿದ್ರ್ಯ ಅಂತಾರೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಆ ದಾರಿದ್ರ್ಯದಿಂದ ಆ ಅಗ್ನಿ ಅನುಗ್ರಹ, ದೇವರ ಅನುಗ್ರಹ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇದ್ದರೆ ದಾರಿದ್ರ್ಯ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಸೆಡ್ ಅಟ್ ಒನ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್, see why people are becoming poor, why becoming people are doing sin, why are the people born again and again, ಯಾಕೆ ಸತ್ತೋ ಯಾಕೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ, ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಅಟ್ ಅದಾನಸೇನ. ದಿಸ್ ಶ್ಲೋಕ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್. ಅದಾನಸೇನ ದರಿದ್ರೋ ಭವತಿ. ಸಿ ಅದಾನಂ, when you don't share things with others, when you don't be having that idea of giving away donation, giving away your liked things, and dana is important. For example, even when people go to Banaras, he said there is a convention that when you go to Banaras, you should give up one that you loved most. Supposing you like masala dosa, give it up. ಅದು ಒಂದು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿರೋ ದೋಷಗಳು, ಶತ್ರುಗಳು, ಅದನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬರಬೇಕು. ವಿ ಶುಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಮನ್ಯು ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಕಾಮ. ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ದಿ ಟೂ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ದೋಷಾಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ಈಸ್ ಲೈವ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಮ್ಯಾನ್ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್. ಸೊ ಸೇಸ್ ದ ಸಿದ್ಧ ಪುರುಷ ಇನ್ ಅನುಗೀತ, ವಿಚ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ ಎವ್ರಿ ವೆನ್ಸ್ಡೇ. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರಂದರೆ, why karma arises, why papam arises, why problems arises, it's all due to the manu and kama. If your nutritional, if your food is well guarded and well supervised and also good choice, you don't get disease, because annad rogani bhavanti. See, ಅನ್ನದಿಂದಲೇ ಮಂచి ಆಗುతుంది, చెడి అవుతుంది, అండ్ సుఖంగా ఉంటారు, దుఃఖపడుతుంటారు. కాబట్టి అన్నాజ్యేవ ఖల్విమాని భూతాని జాయంతే ಅನ್ನೇನ ಜೀವಂತಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ತೈತ್ರಿಯ ಉಪನಿಷತ್ತಲ್ಲಿ. ಅನ್ನ ಸೂಕ್ತ ಇಸ್ ದೇರ್. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತಂದರೆ, ವಸು ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಈಸ್ ಅನ್ನಂ, ವಸು ಈಸ್. ಸೊ ವಸೂನಾಂ ಅಭಿಪ್ರಮಂದೆ, ಅಯ್ಯ ವಸುಪತಿ ಅಗ್ನಿ, ವಿ ಆರ್ ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಯು, ವಿತ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ವಿ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ರಿಜಾಯ್ಸ್. ಎಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಅಗ್ನಿ ಇಸ್ ದಟ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕಲಿ ದಟ್ ಅವರ್ ಕರ್ಮಾಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ನೆವರ್ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್. ಎಷ್ಟು ಕರ್ಮಗಳನ್ನು ಸಮಿಸೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಪಟ್ಟರೂ ಕೂಡ ಅಷ್ಟೋ ಇಷ್ಟೋ ಉಳಿದೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ವಿ ಸೇ ಯಾನಿ ಕಾನಿ ಚ ಪಾಪಾನಿ ಜನ್ಮ ಅಂತರಕ್ರಿಯಾಕೃತಾನಿ ಚ. ಅಂದರೆ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಕ್ಯಾರಿಂಗ್ ಓವರ್ all that to the Jaksa Janma, and we are going through the benefits and the evils of all that. Therefore, it is a very important thing that we are being introduced in the Vedanta. We are never free. We are never free. So we are having a indebtedness. That is why Matruruna, Pitruruna, Achariruna, Rushiruna, Devaruna, Bhutaruna, oh God. So we are, that's why the economics ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ಮಾತಿದೆ. ಎವ್ರಿಬಡಿ ಈಸ್ ಬಾರ್ನ್ ಇನ್ ಡೆಟ್, lives in debt and dies in debt ಅಂತ. Therefore, the economics comes into operative sense. The science of economics or science of finances comes because, and another point is, why people are to be economical or economics ಓದಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ, I was a student of it. It is another statement of economics is that if wants and desires were to be horses, even a beggar will ride ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. So their wants and desires are not horses, indriyas. So indriyas are the horses and beggar will ride. And then anybody who wants all that, he will take a ride over the horse. So ಆ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ, ಸೊ we are having that kind of vasunam abhipramande. So now we are going to talk about the another Anuvaka, Puranuvakya, which will be covering the 1, 4, 46, 3. ಇದು ಕೂಡ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರೋಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ತೈತ್ರಿ ಸಂಹಿತ ಈಸ್ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ಲಿ is in prose, but the prose has the accentuation, the ಸ್ವರ. ಸೊ ಸ್ವರಬದ್ಧವಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಉಚ್ಚಾರಣ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಸ್ವರ ಇಸ್ ದಿ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಬೋನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್, ಆಫ್ ದಿ ವೇದಿಕ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದಿ ಸ್ವರಗಳಿಂದಲೇ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಈಸಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್, ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಈಸ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಪ್ರಿಸರ್ವ್ ದಿ ವೇದ ಮಂತ್ರಾಸ್ ಫಾರ್ posterity lifelong. Therefore, ಈಗೇನಂದರೆ ಒಂದು ಮಂತ್ರ ಉಚ್ಚಾರಣೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಆ ಮಂತ್ರಕ್ಕೆ ಋಷಿ, ಛಂದಸ್ಸು, ದೇವತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ ವಿತೌಟ್. ಸೊ ಶುಡ್ ನೋಟ್ ಡೌನ್ ದಿ ಋಷಿ ಛಂದಸ್. Actually, all these things have got rishis and all that, but I'm not giving you all the traditional way of telling picking up the name of the rishi, name of the devata, name of the chandas, whatever it is. So adilla, but anyway, we are just trying to understand how this Soma Yajna is being designed and is being performed and is being a beneficial activity to people, and how it involves the manpower, money power, social power, political power, and all powers are incorporated in this. ಯಾರೋ ಒಬ್ಬರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು, ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ಗೆ ಒಬ್ಬ ಪಾಲಿಟಿಷಿಯನ್ ಬಂದರು ಅಂತ, ಬಟ್ ದೇ ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ಟ್ರೂತ್ಫುಲ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಅಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ and their lookout is different. And therefore, here in Veda, you see that you have one more to talk about the yajna, and that is this. I'm reading that sloka. So Gopinath, I'll just say slowly, can you repeat and you have time? Om Adhvareshu Rajan, Om Adhvareshu Rajan, Tvaya Vajam Vajayanto Jayema Abhishyama Prutsutihi Martyanam. Adhvareshu Rajan Tvaya Vajam Vajayanto Vajayanto Jayema Bhishyama Prutsutirhi Martyanam. Next one. Tvam Agne Vajasatamam Vipra Vardhanti Sushtutam Sano Rasva Suviryam Ayam no Agne Varivakrunotu Ayam Rudhaha Pura Etu Prabhindan Ayagum Shatrunjayato Jarhusharnayam Vajam Jayato Vajasato Agnihi Agnina Agnisabidhyate Agnina Agnisamidhyate Kavihi Grihapatihi Yuva Havyavang Jikhvasyaha Tvagum hi Agne. So Agnir Brahma anta ಹೇಳೋದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ here we are just given this, that Agni is all in all. Agni is be all and end all. Without Agni there is nothing possible in the world. Therefore, that kind of complementing Agni is being done here, saying that, Hey Rajan, Adhvareshu, they were explaining the passage 1:4:46:3, that Hey Rajan, Rajan here is the Agni again or the king, who the sacrificer. But anyway, Rajan is an addressal. But taking it as Agni, I mean, to the Agni Deva, then you are having a different interpretation and meaning construing. And if you think that Rajan is that, so these mantras have been variedly interpreted by different scholars. I think there was one a great person by name Devachandanta. Long back, I read, I just went through, and Devachand's interpretation is quite mundane, and that's published also, maybe available in the Seshadri Memorial Library in Bangalore or any other public libraries, so that you can just see the Devachan, but it's not much well known. What we do is the translation, if you want a correct one, we used to follow for our Rigveda, the Geldner's translation, and also other translators are there. Even latest was H.D. Velankar has translated Rigveda of 7th Mandala very well. ಸೊ ದೇವರ ಅನುಗ್ರಹ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಮಾತ್ರ ಎಷ್ಟು ಕಾಲ ಇರುತ್ತೋ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಆಶ್ಚರ್ಯ. ಆಲ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ಲಿ ಎಂಗ್ರಾಸ್ಡ್ with the religious and fruitful activities and living modes and all those things. But it's all Daivanugraham that we are all able to sit before the feet of Yajurveda Purusha, who is a Kulisahasta and who has got Ajasya and who has got Akshamala in his hand. And when he is the blessing, because Kulisahasta means any and every difficulty can be withdrawn or removed by virtue of prayer. That's why prayer, praise and prayer, worship, yajna, all these things are the important means upon this earth, as is pronunciated in Anugita also, in Bhagavad Gita also. That's in 18th chapter. Krishna also says that, Aya, whatever that you should do, mandatory rights towards the God or towards your own personal benefit, you should not shirk from them. And that's why even in Taittiriya Upanishad also it is said, Swadhyaya pravachanabhyam na pramaditavyam. So you never endanger or swerve away from the Swadhyaya and pravachana. Unless you study for some time long, you will not be able to explain them. So Adhyayana and Swadhyayana and pravachana. ಪ್ರವಚನ ಅಂದರೆ ಲೆಕ್ಚರಿಂಗ್, ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರಿಗೆ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡೋದು, ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಥಿಂಕಿಂಗ್ ಯು ಗಾಟ್. ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ಹಿಯರ್ ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಲೈನ್ ಚೂಸಿ ಅಧ್ವರೇಶು ರಾಜನ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ವಾಜಂ ತ್ವಯಾ ವಾಜಯಂತೋ ಜಯೇಮಾ. ಸೊ ಅಯ್ಯ ಅಗ್ನಿದೇವ, you are very bright, and by offering the oblations one by one, Agnaye Swaha, Agnaya Idam Namama, like that, keeping Agni as leader, you try to pick some gods and to them you make offerings. And when you are all doing all that, what is that you are going to get? That's what Jayema, we get success, victory, fulfillment. And in fact, whenever any Homa is done, people do it Jaya Homa. ಆ ಜಯ ಹೋಮ ಅನ್ನುವಾಗ ಮಂತ್ರಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಇದೆ, ಒಂದು ಸಾರಿ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು ಈ ನಮ್ಮ ಸೀರೀಸಲ್ಲಿ. ಜಯ ಹೋಮ ಮಂತ್ರ ಅಂತ ಅದನ್ನು ಕಳಿಸಿ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಹೌ ಯು ಆರ್ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಗೆಟ್ ದಿ ಜಯ ಆರ್ ವಿಕ್ಟರಿ ಆರ್ ಸಕ್ಸಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಲಾರೆಲ್ಸ್. Therefore, that's why there is a victory stand also, you understand. So, but now I don't know, victory stand contains 1, 2, 3. So the first prize, when our first winning fellow stand as the number 1, next 2, next 3, that's all. So ಈ 3 prizes will be there. ಆ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅಗ್ನಿದೇವ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ, ವಾಜಯಂತಹ ವಾಜಂ ಜಯೇಮ. ನಾವು ವಾಜವನ್ನು ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಆ ವಾಜವನ್ನು ಇದನ್ನು ನಿನಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ನಿನ್ನ ಅನುಗ್ರಹದಿಂದ ಆಶೀರ್ವಾದದಿಂದ ನಿನ್ನ ಬಯಸಿಕೆಯಿಂದ ಐ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಗೆಟ್ ಮೋರ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಮೋರ್ ರಿಚಸ್. ಭಗವದ್ಯಸ್ತನುಷ್ವ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರಲ್ವ ಜಮೋಕದಲ್ಲಿ. ಯು ಮೇಕ್ ದಿ ಮಘವನ್ಸ್ become richer so that they can open up new establishment and give proper prosperity and jobs for all people. So then another point is abhishyama prutsutihi martyanam. Not only that, martyanam prutsuhu, adi important, the enemies of human beings. One, normally ಯಸ್ಮಾನ್ ದ್ವೇಷ್ಟಿ ಯಂ ಚ ವಯಂ ದ್ವಿಷ್ಮಃ ಅನ್ನೋದು ನಾರ್ಮಲ್. ಅಂದರೆ ಯಾರನ್ನ ನೀನು ಹೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀಯೋ, ಯಾರು ನಿನ್ನನ್ನು ಹೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೋ, ಡಿಸ್ಲೈಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೋ, ನಿನಗೆ ಯಾವ ಒತ್ತಿ ಹಚ್ತಾರೋ, ಆಲ್ ದೋಸ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಆರ್ ಯುವರ್ ಎನಿಮೀಸ್. ಸೊ ದೆನ್ such enemies. On the other hand, you have internal enemies. In fact, the other day, that Gita professor Sanskrit on the Sivamahimna Stotram has given us the Antashatrus and illustrations who got perished or lost their kingdom and wealth owing to the six Shatrus: Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ 6 ಜನರನ್ನು ಇಲ್ಲಸ್ಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾಳೆ. ಕಾಮಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ರಾವಣಾಸುರ, ಕೋಪ, ದೆನ್ ಮತ್ಸರ, ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಕೂಡ ಹಾಳಾಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ಮೋರೋವರ್, ಆಲ್ ದೀಸ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಹೂ ಗಾಟ್ ರೂಯಿಂಡ್, ದೇ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ ವರಪುತ್ರಾಸ್. ದೇ ರಿಸೀವ್ಡ್ large number of boons from Brahmadeva, and that wealth makes people ವೆರಿ ಮಚ್ ಗರ್ವಿಷ್ಠೀಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಮದಬಲಂ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದರಿಂದ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂದರೆ, ದೇ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಕೇರ್ ವೆದರ್ ಗುಡ್ ಆರ್ ಬ್ಯಾಡ್, ದೇ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಡೂ ಇಟ್. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ರಾವಣಾಸುರ ಕಾಮ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಕಾಮಬದ್ಧ. ದೇರ್ ಫೋರ್ he doesn't want satisfied with all what he has got, but he wants to grab others' wife, Rama, Sita Devi, Rama's wife, and also grab the Pushpavimanam of others, that is Kubera, and so on. So he has Ratnahari to Parthiva and ಹೇಳಿದ ಮೇಲೆ he will be ultimately doing all that. So Prutsutihi Martyanam Avishyama. So we should try to avoid all the enemies away, Antashatrus and Bahishatrus, and for that, who will help us? Agni. And in fact, even surgeries, they use the laser treatment. What is that? That's laser treatment is Agnisikatsa. So they send fire into the body where it should be burnt, and they do it. So that kind of nowadays robo also has come in, all electrical, all powerful, all Agni only. So that's why Prutsutihi Matyanam. And again, once more we make a prayer to him. Second line, Tvam Agne Vajasatamam Vipravardhante Sushtutam. ಸೊ ಅಗ್ನಿಯನ್ನು ಯಾರಂದರೆ ಅವರು ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನೆ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಬುದ್ಧಿ ಹೊಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ನೋ ಬಡಿ ವಿಲ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಮೇಕ್ ಪ್ರೈಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಅಗ್ನಿ. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ಸಿ, ಎನಿಬಡಿ ಹೂ ಟ್ರೈಸ್ ಟು ಲೈಟ್ ಹಿಸ್ ಸಿಗರೆಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಎನಿ ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿ ಫೈರ್? ನೋ. And so Agni is being used profusely for all purposes. But the fact is that one should have a regard for Agni, because Agni is said to be in this line as a Vajasatamam. Agni is Vajasatamam. That is, he is the richest person who has got highest wealth, and he is a Dhanapati. And at the same time, he has the mind also to share. That's what we call Raya. ರಾವುಗಳು ಅಂದರೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಏನು? ರಾಯ ವಯಂ ರಾಯಸ್ಪೋಷೇಣ. ವೇದಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ರಾಯ ಶಬ್ದ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ರಾಯ, ಕೃಷ್ಣದೇವರಾಯ, ಬುಕ್ಕರಾಯ, we got so many traditional rayas, and that raya shabda has turned into raus. So that Rao and Raya, They both indicate the richness at the same time, pleasant mind to share the whole thing. So here, Vajasatamam Agni, O Agni, you are one rich with the gifts. And Agni is again Ganapati. Whenever you want to start a puja, you will say Gananam Tva Ganapati Gum Havamahe. Why do you call him? Because he is supposed to be a wonderful, powerful, rich God, and you ask him to stay from A to B, A to Z, your performance, and ultimately give you the benefit and get out. So last line ಏನು ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ that Agni, I mean, the last line tells that see the and sadhanam, and you give the gifts to us and go away. So Agni, Om Gananam Tva Ganapati Gum Havamahe Kavin Kavinam Upavasramastam Jeshtarajam Brahmanan Brahmanaspata Anasrunvan Utibhihi Sida Sadhanam. The last line tells you Utibhihi Anondu. Sida, Asida andre Kutko, stable, and you bring all with us. And not only that, you bring all your colleagues and friends. ಸೊ ಅದರಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಈ ವಾಜಸಾತಮಂ, ಸೊ ಆ ವಾಜಸಾತಮ ಆಗಿರೋ ಅಗ್ನಿಯನ್ನು ಪದೇ ಪದೇ ಪೂಜೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನೆಗಳು ಮಾಡಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದಾಗಿ ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ವಿಪ್ರಾಹ ವರ್ಧಂತಿ. ವಿಪ್ರರು ಅಂದರೆ ಬ್ರಾಹ್ಮಣರು, who are vibrant enough, they are srotriyas, so they know the meaning of the words, and whenever they utter the mantra, they know what the content of the mantra, and accordingly they revere the god, devata, in which who is being praised in that mantra. So they are all called vipraha. You know, among Brahmins there are ranks, Gopinath. ಮಾಮೂಲಾಗಿ ಬ್ರಾಹ್ಮಣ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ ಓದಿದವರು, after brahmacharyam, then he becomes a vipra, and after vipra he becomes a srotriya, and so these are all the ranks to a brahmana, mahabrahmana, then vipra and srotriya anta ranks ಎಲ್ಲ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, like military people having the ranks. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಈ ವಿಪ್ರರಾಗಿರೋರು ಅಂದರೆ ಯಜ್ಞಯಾಗಾದಿ ಕರ್ತುಗಳ ವೇದ ಮಂತ್ರಗಳ ಅರ್ಥವನ್ನು ರಿಫ್ಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಎಂಜಾಯ್ ಮಾಡುವ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಇದ್ದವರೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ ವಿಪ್ರಾಸ್. And in fact, Brahmana Sangha, Bangalore, and had designed to bring out a monthly magazine, but I don't know now, with the title Vipranudi anta. Vipranudi andre the helkodi, the all that has been said out by the rishis. ಸೊ ವಿಪ್ರನುಡಿ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ಝೈನ್ ರನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ವಿವೇಕಾನಂದ, ರಾಮಕೃಷ್ಣ ಮಠ ವಿವೇಕಾನಂದ ಅವರೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಪ್ರಬುದ್ಧ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಅಂತ ಅದೊಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ಅದೊಂದು ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ಝೈನು. ಸೊ ಈ ಹೆಸರುಗಳು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದರೆ ನಮಗೆ ತುಂಬ ಇನ್ಸೈಟ್ಫುಲ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಪಿರೇಷನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ನಾದಾ ವೇದಾಧ್ಯಯನ ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟೆಡ್ ವೇದ ಗಂಗಾ ಅಂತ. ಗಂಗಾ ಪ್ರವಾಹ ಪವಿತ್ರವಾದದ್ದು, ಅದು ವೇದ ಅಂದರೆ ಜ್ಞಾನ. ಸೊ ಜ್ಞಾನ ಗಂಗಾ, ಜ್ಞಾನ ಪ್ರವಾಹ 31 ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ಸ್ ಬಂದಿದೆ, ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ದಲ್ಲ, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ ಡಿವೈನ್ ಗ್ರೇಸ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಆರ್ contributing in one manner or the other. They are bringing the extent, the volume of the Veda Ganga to more, crossing 350 and more on that. So it's all ಗಂಗಾ ಪ್ರವಾಹ. ಏನಂದರೆ ನಾವು ಗಂಗೋತ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೋದರೆ ಗಂಗೆ ನೋಡಿದರೆ ಅಯ್ಯೋ ಇದು ಗಂಗಾನಾ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ವಾಟರ್ ಫಾಲ್ ವಿಲ್ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಸಿ ಇನ್ ಗಂಗೋತ್ರಿ, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದಟ್ಸ್ ದಿ ಉಗಮ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಗಂಗಾ ರಿವರ್ ಫಾಲಿಂಗ್ ಡೌನ್. ಆದರೆ ವೆನ್ ಯು ಸಿ ಇಟ್ ಇನ್ ಹರಿದ್ವಾರ್ ಆರ್ ಇನ್ ಕಾಶಿ ಆರ್ ಎಲ್ಸ್ವೇರ್, ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ವಂಡರ್. ಸೊ ಹೌ ದಟ್ ಗಂಗಾ ಗ್ಯಾದರಿಂಗ್ ಆಲ್ ದಟ್, ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದಿ ಸ್ಪಿರಿಟ್ ಆಫ್ ವಿಪ್ರಾಸ್. ವಿಪ್ರಾಹ ದೂಯಂತೆ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸನೋ ರಾಸ್ವ ವೀರ್ಯಂ. ಅವ್ರೇನು ಕೊಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ, ರಾಸ್ವ ಅಂದರೆ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್, Sviryam anta. So I here stop and we'll continue next all these things. So thanks that we are on the Purnima day, we are able to remember Lakshmi Narasimha on one hand, who is a Veda Purusha, and due to his anugraha, asirvada, and also attention, care, let all surveys, let all of us be happier, and loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om swasti sahana bhavatu sahanau bhunaktu sahaviryam karavavahai तेजस्विना अवधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ओम शांति 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 हरि ओम सर्वं श्री कृष्णार्पणमस्तु श्री वेद पुरुषाशीर्वादोस्तु सर्वं श्री मातृचरणारविन्दार्पणमस्तु ओम तत्सतु श्री लक्ष्मी नृसिंह प्रसाद सिद्धिरस्तु. Gopinath, how are you keeping well? And I thank that you have anything to comment here.
ಗುರುಗಳೇ, ನೀವು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ, ಈ ಒಂದೊಂದು ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲೂ ಅಧ್ಯಯನದಲ್ಲಿ ಇವನ್ ಬ್ರಾಹ್ಮಣ ಆದ್ರೂನು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಗ್ರೇಡ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ, ಶ್ರೋತ್ರಿಯರು, ವಿಪ್ರರು, ಮತ್ತೆ ಬ್ರಾಹ್ಮಣರಲ್ಲಿ ಮಹಾಬ್ರಾಹ್ಮಣರು ಅಂತಲ್ಲ. ಹಾಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ವಿಚಾರ ತಿಳಿತಿದ್ದಂಗೆನೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಅದರ ಯಥಾರ್ಥ ಅರ್ಥ ಅನುಭವ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡೋದು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಅಷ್ಟು ಸುಲಭ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ನೀವು ಬಿಡಿಸ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗತ್ತೆ, ಬಿಡಿಸ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಕ್ಲಾರಿಟಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದು ನೀವಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ನಾವೇನೋ ಅಧ್ಯಯನ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ತರ ಇದು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಲ್ಲ, ಆಂಗಲ್ಸ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಗೆ. ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲೂ ಈ ದೇವತೆ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಯಜುರ್ವೇದದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂತ ವೇದ ಪುರುಷನ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನೀವು ಈಗ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿತ್ತು, ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ. ಅವಾಗಲೇ ನಂದು ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಓಪನ್ ಆಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ನಾನು ರಿಪೀಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೆ, ನಂದೇನೋ ಮೈಕ್ರೋಫೋನ್. ನಾನು ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಶಿವಮೊಗ್ಗದಿಂದ ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಶಿವಮೊಗ್ಗದಿಂದ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಹೊರಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಆನ್ ದ ವೇ ಇದ್ದೆ. ಸೊ ನಾನು ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ತಗೋಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು, ಸೈಡಲ್ ಗಾಡಿ ಹಾಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೆ. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಕಾಲ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೆ, ಜಾಯ್ನ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟೆ.
Okay, Nana, God bless you. Sri Ram.
Thank you.